If you're not a man, as a man, a virgin, or you're not a chastised man, as we say in the Quran, you don't deserve to be with a woman. Why should you be running around being dirty and then go, I want that girl in the village, or a beautiful girl from Syria or Jordan, bring her, and that poor girl's going to suffer. She's at home. So it is a two-way thing. But these girls are used, and they should know it's just for fun. But they accept it in a way because I think they want the fast track. No one wants to work McDonald's hard or Nando's or be a PA and work herself up for a small salary. They want that quick, I want to sit on the private jet with that wine glass, that pick, what everyone wants, or I want to be in the Maldives. So they're asking for it. In a way, yes, I feel sorry for those women who are the innocent good girls as well. But I also feel sorry for guys who are looking for a good wife now, because it's very hard to find them.
Very few, in fact. But there's no motivation to be that good girl now, because now you're going to think I'm that good girl that gets with the guy, but he's still going to be spending money on the hoe that you met on Instagram. So when men are investing in these women, back in the day they would use that girl but never speak to her again, but now they still invest in her. Whether it's bags, whether it's shoes, whether it's flying them out, when a woman sees that woman is getting an investment from you, it lowers the motivation for women to want to be that successful, that traditional girl. And so I think men need to be mindful as well where they are placing their investment, because that's going to determine female motivation.
But Sadia, I'm sorry, I kind of disagree with you, because we're still going back to, it's the men. It's these women that are offering that to the men. You know what I mean?
Because there's a demand for it.
Of course there's demand, but it doesn't mean that you need to do that and screw over the rest of the women. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Women are today getting really pissed off. Like, you know, these influencers, so-called influencers, are everywhere.
So cool.
You know? Sorry, like, I'm brutally honest, but I've got to be. And that's why the good girl, sure. I mean, why should a young girl right now strive to become, let's say, an engineer and get paid 5,000 dirhams a month, for example, whereas an influencer gets paid whatever 200K for
one post,
one day or whatever. You know what I mean? So I understand, but again, it's the women. Like, these are the female influencers. So stop doing that. If all the influencers stop posting all these bikini traps, I think that the men would start having to work harder for it.
But do you not think that if the men were not following these girls and paying these girls, they would be no motivation to post like that?
It's a two-way thing, isn't it? But at the same time, what she's saying is the women, it's like, for example, luckily it's banned here, like drugs. If you keep feeding the crack in the society, in the ghetto, the more addiction's going to come.
Absolutely.
So hold that. Let them go through the rehab, then it's going to go. So you'll keep pushing this agenda of.
You not
it's
give
basically
the drugs if there was no consumers.
But there's always going to be. It's an addiction, though. But you can start.
Yeah,
but you can start an addiction from anything. You literally can start, and it's one of the natural instincts of a man.
Yeah.
Like everyone has their build-up. The woman is more procreation, loving, motherly. It's a natural instinct. You can say all you want about the movement of LGBTQ, but the woman is born with certain instincts.
Absolutely.
A kid falls over, you probably go, oh, come here, or you'll have that touch. Even with my daughters, you meet them, you'd have a different touch to my friends. Go hello, it's like a ball. It's just the way we are. Men like to go hunting, protect. She's mine. She's my wife. She's my girlfriend. Don't harm. And the woman's more loving. The university. So, in a way, you're feeling it. But I think, do you not think, Lubna, in a way? I mean, these girls fall into this at a young teenage age, because who else do they see as, as soon as they get these phones now, this is a new generation, not like we were born. It's different. We never had these. So straight on Instagram, Cardi B, Kim K, whatever.
Just nonsense.
So they think that is normal, that is good. So in a way, they're kind of stuck. It's a vicious cycle now.
I don't blame. I think the thing is, it's really easy to be judgmental when you come from a great family and a great home. But say if I was a 15-year-old girl who's been abused, doesn't have much money, doesn't have anything like that, I'm so vulnerable. And that vulnerability can be easily exploited by male attention and male investment. Now, if we removed male investment, women wouldn't have to go towards that as well. I don't think it's all women's fault or all men's fault. I'm not trying to blame the men, but it's a societal issue. There's a hypersexualized society, men including, women including. Everything is so sexualized. Women are learning that's a currency. And when we have opinions, we have to think about it from the lens of a really vulnerable individual. And that vulnerable girl that doesn't have a father figure, doesn't have money, doesn't know where she's going to eat the next day, and she knows that I can either go to university and get nothing, or I can post on Instagram and a guy will probably send me a plane ticket to Dubai.
Oh, I agree. There are these cases, I agree, who've been abused, and that's unfortunate. But I'm saying now I'm seeing it in the Middle East. I'm seeing it in regions where they've got fathers, mothers, good families. Muslim, Christian, Coptic, whatever backgrounds, very educated. I know the fathers were. I see these very well educated. They've got drivers. You know, I've been here for 15 years. You've been born and raised here. You'll be noticing these things. My point is, I think women responsibility also to have more women like yourselves. Like I was speaking to Lubna before. You need more of a platform. Whether they're trying to hold you back for a reason, maybe that's the case. But my 2 daughters are 3.5. I'm scared. Who are they going to look up to?
Yeah.
I think it's all about pride, right? Vulnerable or not. You have so many women in Palestine who are so poor, but you know, they would never do the things that girls do here. It's all about having pride and dignity. It's really about that. You know what I mean? It's a character thing, I think. But I do agree that
it's a culture thing more, because that same woman, if she grew up in a different country, whether it's like Morocco or something, they do turn to that quite easily with the same religious backgrounds, because it's a cultural influence. I think we're overestimating the individual and underestimating environment, because even since I've been in Dubai, I don't know if I should say, but I have noticed that there'll be girls that are well educated, good jobs and so on and so forth, and they'll be doing everything themselves, but then you'll get a girl from a certain different types of background with no job, no nothing, and a guy is paying for her rent in the address. What makes sense to a woman who's just trying to make it? And so if men withdraw their investment from these types of women, there'll be more motivation. So it needs to be a two-way thing.
But that's never gonna happen, you know. Like I agree with you, but that's never gonna happen. Let's face it,
if
you know, and it's on
women
us.
Aren't gonna change.
No, I'm sorry, I disagree.
But have women through
to.
history until it's only been recent. Let's be honest. Recently, this spike of being a housewife, being a wife, doing this. Your control. It's domestic abuse. You're locked up. It's like this agenda. You shouldn't be that. And I've noticed it's in the last 6 or 7 years really drastically. This feminism's. I'm for feminism, as in women work, women being strong, women having a say, but to a limit as well, as mentioned. But there's this new movement, this woke feminism. We don't need men, this, that. It's just gone sick, woke, and then it's like...
It's drifting towards LGBT.
No, but it is drifting to this LGBT stance. And also, I noticed it a lot more during this World Cup announcement. The West's stance on what they think Arabs are, the Middle East, and it was highlighted in a crazy way.
Well, it's just psychological colonialism. They think that the world should think the way they think. It's no different to racism. They simply have a set of morals, and if you don't abide by them, you're barbaric and you're not progressive. And they are happy to cancel out entire continents. The whole of Africa is barbaric. The whole of Asia is barbaric. Why? Because you decide the moral. And that's just horrendous. I was so insulted by the reaction to Qatar and the LGBT. I was so deeply insulted, and I couldn't understand how unbelievably racist it was. The idea that white people determine what is progressive, and if they're not on our side, we are just barbaric. Anyone that agrees with that stance is just a racist. There's no two ways about it. Do we have a guest?
I'm not sure you can open. My point back into that is I feel we've got a guest was going live. So let's have your opinions on this man. Andrew Lubna.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. Sorry, I got overexcited, didn't I? You caught me all excited. Hi.
So now you can go into this conversation more now. So okay, I didn't want to tell him this is purely unplanned.
Yeah, we were actually supposed to meet today, but we couldn't get it all sorted. But we made it in the end. Praise be to God, we got it.
That's right.
We got it.
Fate.
As you walked in, we were just discussing how women tend to become OnlyFans. They push this agenda rather than the mother, the wife, the nice housewife, or a woman to become an engineer. Lubna was saying, I believe truly it's women's fault. They blame men, but women are giving them in. They're making it easy on them.
Can I say something? I really have a message to all the young girls out there. Okay, it's not about, let's not do the blame game, because it's not going to do anything for anyone. It's you've got the power. Okay, this is your life. You've got the power. My mother always told me that. The man is the head and the woman is the neck. You can be smart, you can be educated. Don't waste your time. Don't take away your power by just going on Instagram, being an influencer, not doing anything with your life. And don't play the victim. Be nobody's victim. You know what I mean? That's That's my thought.
And I was a bit more, it's also the men's fault, because they invest in these girls.
It's always the men's fault, isn't it?
Wallah, I would say
Wallah. Doesn't mean it's the all truth,
it's a societal issue. If I'm a girl, and if I'm a vulnerable 15-year-old girl with no money, and I can either go to school and get a long education, or there's a guy that's going to pay for my flights and my rent, if I just post a thirst trap,